welcome to Aurora Stadium in Launceston, where we have classic football conditions for a classic football matchup. It's arguably the biggest game ever to be played here at Aurora Stadium in Launceston. Two of the AFL heavyweights, Port Adelaide and Hawthorn, playing for second spot on the AFL ladder. Port Adelaide with a premiership a couple of years ago, but Hawthorn still trying to win one with this group. Well, let's have a look at the matchups.
Well, Trent Crode, he and Campbell Brown, they are the two pillars for the Hawthorn defence. Young Westhoff kicking 25 goals in 10 games has been super. Ebert there also. Young Gillam's had a great year. Ladson and Guerra, they're the two players that really do set it up for the Hawks. And Pearce, Treadray and Motlop, great to see Treadray back. They're going to be super important. Midfield, Jules, Kane Corns and Sam Mitchell, I'm sure they'll be sparring partners out there today. And of course the run from Bateman's been super this year. And of course the ruck situations, you've got Campbell and Taylor versus Lade and Brogan. Sewell, I've got no doubt him and Chad Corns will be having a look at each other and eyeballing each other most of the game today. Then you have a look at the go-to players here for the Hawks. Land Frankston, what a super year. He's the hardest matchup in the competition now. Dixon's been super important. Then you throw in Roughhead and Boyle. Between those three players, they've kicked 117 goals between them. Luke Hodges had a fantastic month of football also. Alistair Clarkson coached really well. Great to see Xavier Ellis, first-year player, back into the game. He's got a lot of poise. And, of course, Premiership coach Mark Williams has got a lot to call on in that bench there, Dwayne.
Let's go to the action. From the ball up, Lade in the ruck against Campbell. Knocked down to Boak, coming off a magnificent game last week. Pearce, Boak, Lewis, and now Hodge sends it inside 50, an open 50. Dixon feeds back onto it. A chance for the first shot at goal. Handballs to his own advantage and kicks it through.
What a great start from Hawthorn there in Dixon. Just a missed tackle there from the Port Adelaide player. I think it was Toby Thurston's park over. It was just a magnificent start for the Hawks. Out of the middle, then you get the run and carry. You see there Hodge, that beautiful long left foot, puts the defender under the pump, took front position there, Thurston's, we see just a missed tackle. They're crucial.
Makes all the difference, and I think terrific effort to not have the option on inside Dixon and to put it to his own advantage.
Good start for Ben Dixon. And a great start for the Hawks at home. Good record here, Port Adelaide. They're 1 from 1 in the only time they've played Hawthorn here. And they're 4 from 5 overall. The other games against the Saints. Hodge ties up Boak. A couple of boys from the Geelong Falcons go head to head. And we'll get a ball up.
To impress his onslaughts on the ball, Boak, didn't he? Just both times, grabbed it easily.
Campbell slaps it down to Boak. He gets the inside 50 for the first time for Port Adelaide and Guerra. Ex-Port Adelaide. Hands off to Crode. Back into the corridor. And sends it along Boak. Again with the fly. And he gets the fist on Lewis. And it's out of play. We'll get a ball in.
Impressive youngster, Boak. You see there, Chance Bateman. Full of run for the Hawks. But young Boak, they're great poise.
Lade and Campbell tie up. Bateman. And he got one a little high from Kane Corns. So Chance Bateman to Mitchell. Crawford. Guerra. Kick smothered by Westhoff. Treadray. Got the free back into the team this week, Warren Treadray. Surprised a few by proving his fitness during the week, and he heads to Ebert. One-on-one with Campbell Brown. Thumped down, Birchall brought down, and we'll get a ball up.
Well, they've picked at least Crode for Treadray, and I think they've gone for Gillam for Westhoff. That's a massive height difference there.
He's been terrific, Westhoff, kicking 25 goals in only 10 games of AFL football.
And was the Port Adelaide bench laid down to Kane Corns. Mitchell was with him. Ball not coming out just yet. Kane Corns gets it out, but it was stolen by Ladson. And according to umpire Goldsmith, he was thrown after he disposed of it, and he'll have a shot at goal. Kane Corns.
We talk about Chad Corns having a great year. His younger brother, Kane Corns, you see in the replay there, Birchall just drove him into the ground. The free kick was always there. He's got a big job today, Kane Corns. He's on Sammy Mitchell.
33 possessions last week. Kane Corns Be a best and fairest chance. Finished in the top 3 in the Port Adelaide best and fairest the last 3 seasons. Have to be an All-Australian chance as well. Top of the possession getters in the AFL. And he slides it through for Port Adelaide's first.
It's a very important matchup, that one, I think, Dan. People understand that they're both super players inside. I got Mitchell as one of the better I've seen, I think, in that role. To put young Kane Corns on him, it's a terrific matchup because he's not equally as good, but he's very potent inside, and he's got a capacity to run hard on the outside, which might worry young Sam.
Scores level, 2 minutes in from the restart. There's a little conglomeration of players to the left of the screen. And Campbell wins it, but down to Lade, who read it well and is dragged down by Campbell. And we'll get another ball up.
See Daniel Motlop in the forward line for Port. He's on Guerra, so they're trying to keep Guerra out of the play at full back, which is good coaching there from Williams.
Ball knocked down to Mitchell. Young, Bateman trying to get it back to Mitchell. And Crow shrugs the tackle straight down the corridor. Loads up long, 50-metre kick. Big fly by Dixon from behind. And he gave the free kick away. Chaplin. Sean Burgoyne.
Sorry, I'm very disappointed with that jumping from behind. There are 8 players in that mess.
Tredray.
Lade's pushing forward in the ruck here.
And Ebert on the end of this. Keeps it alive. Lade can have the shot. It's a tough kick from there, and he bounces it towards full forward. Guerra, Motlop grabs him by the dacks. And it's taken through. Birchall and Gillum combined are behind.
Good
Robbie
call.
Campbell. Yeah, Robbie Campbell needs to watch Lade.
Exactly. Just let him go, watched him go, and didn't try and make a contest.
It would have been fine if he'd have marked it. David, Ben Dixon's effort. The Sewell has it on the wing.
They normally do pay it, Dwayne, if they do mark it, but once they drop it and they put hands in the shoulder, they'll always pay it the umpires.
Chance Bateman squeezes it towards Franklin, and Peter Burgoyne can't hold the mark. Will get a ball in on 50. And Lance Franklin, what a star he's been this year. Bit of byplay between the two. Yes, Lance Franklin's going to be a player Port Adelaide will need to watch out forward. He's been the key all year for the Hawks. He's had more shots at goal than any player in the competition this year.
See that Sewell's gone to Sean Burgoyne. Burgoyne's trying to chase after Hodge. It's quite an interesting matchup duel going on here.
Chad Corns with the fist. And Chance Bateman can't cut it off.
And they'll have to be aware of that, Dwayne, because he's the third man up so effectively so often that somebody's role is to cut him off in that job.
Smith, Taylor, McGlynn and Ellis from the ball in. Hodge. Bateman again. Twists out of trouble, back into trouble. Mitchell forced to backtrack into the centre, and the pass was precise. Birchall. And to the other wing. Gillum takes on Westhoff. Bumped on the kick. Gets it inside 50. Boyle appeared to have an arm slapped. Umpire said no. The Corns boys combined. Now Peter Burgoyne. Tough one. And they get out of it. Surgeon with a handball quick. Corns the kick. And now Roden. Inboard, but to Young.
Good
They've
pressure
turned
from
it
the
back
Hawks.
again. It's been a hot start. Roden chases Young. Almost got him. Handball to Taylor. To Young. Shrugs the attempted tackle. Centering kick. No free.
Yes, free kick.
There was a free. Lewis had his arm whacked. And he'll take the free from 25 metres out.
Well, magnificent patch of play from Young there, Clinton Young, the run and the carry. But not only that, just have the poise to square the kick up into the corridor, which really did put the Port defence under massive pressure.
And it got around Chad Corns. An interesting thing already, we talked about this. Watch this particular finish.
Coming off a 29 possession game last week, Jordan Lewis, and he gives the Hawks the lead.
Important player, Jordan Lewis. When you've got the players of Hodge, Mitchell, Lewis is normally the one that gets under players' guards. And look, after having a look at that replay, David, there wasn't a hell of a lot in it. We just see here Lade caught behind, and oh hell, he slaps his forearm.
Just partly, yeah. It was just a touch. It really wasn't a hit. His arm didn't go down.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot in it. Good to see Lewis go straight into the middle. He was coming off the ground, kicked a goal. He's back into the middle.
First goal for Jordan Lewis for the afternoon has become a very important factor for the Hawks. Rowan Smith on the boundary.
Well, you can see Hawthorn already just trying to exploit the Warren Treadray Trent Crode. Every time he gets the ball, he's just trying to charge up the ground already.
Lade with the palm down in the Thompson direction. Roden tied up. Thompson. And he got the ride from Lewis. There's Adam Thompson, the free to Corns. Chad inside 50.
Beautiful kick.
Motlop dives and completes it. And this is his first shot at goal here since the one he missed against the Saints to win the game at this end. Let's hope he doesn't poke at this one.
Well, this is good coaching, David. You've got Motlop and Guerra. Guerra normally plays in the half-back line.
Yep. As a sweeper. Yep.
Making him play as a full-back. So he's going to have his hands full here, Brett Guerra, if Motlop's on song today.
To get the monkey off his back here in Launceston. It's gone. Port Adelaide back in front.
I'm fascinated by the use of Chad Corns here. He started centre bounce, he started on the far wing, and he started as the loose man in defence in 3 or 4 different ball-ups. Now, it's going to be interesting to where he actually ends up playing.
Well, he's already had the 4 possessions in the game of football, so it is difficult. He's starting on the wing, just going onto the ball, so he's trying to lose the tag.
It's 2 different wings, because last time he started on the other wing.
13 plays, 12, and there was talk before the game as to whether or not this might end up a shootout. Both these teams have been free-flowing in the last couple of weeks and successful with that style of play. Lewis, Smith, caught by Pearce, handball to Crawford, slips it to half-forward. Thurston's waiting back there. Corns, and now a little kick from Kasisi. Kane Corns.
That was terrific. Poise from Kasisi there.
Westhoff, outstanding season he's having.
What a find. Pick 71 in the national draft last year. With 200 centimetres.
And there's a free kick off the ball, 50 metres against Gillum. Westhoff will have a shot from the square.
Well, I think umpire Goldspink, Wayne, was telling Gillum to come back over the mark, and he just failed to do so. So
it didn't look like he didn't respond to him. Didn't look even heard the call.
We can see Stephen Gillum asking the question now, saying, I didn't even hear you, Darren.
He did. It's exactly what he said. Because I asked you can see him mouth that. I asked you to come back up. He didn't even respond.
It is sometimes difficult to hear here in Launceston. I didn't hear the siren a year or so ago. Westhoff kicks his first.
Well, it's a great start for Westhoff, but I do feel for Steve Gillum there, because as we see now, he's still got his hands in the air saying, well, I didn't hear anything, fellas. All the Hawthorn players, Trent Crode getting back. We've seen the replay here.
And there was no real advantage. Like where he is, he hasn't made up ground, has he?
It was basically a half a metre.
Yeah.
Look, that's disappointing. There is 50 there in the letter of the law, but if you don't hear the umpire, you'd nearly have to give him the benefit of the doubt, surely.
And we've still got Ladson, who is sitting as the spare man back, and they've got 1 on 2 on 1 wing.
Which is Daniel Pearce.
Yep.
Lewis, the takeaway for Hawthorn. Inside 50 and Hodge, a spectacular contested mark. They don't get much more contested than that.
He's a super player. Can play down back and play on ball. But it's great to see Alistair Clarkson backing his team in at the moment, because you've got a forward line of Franklin, Dixon, Boyle, Roughhead, and throw in this man Luke Hodge. That's a super grab.
Well, he's the versatility which Chad Corns offers to Port Adelaide in the same way.
Coming off a 33 possession game last week, he's been in outstanding form. Luke Hodge kicked 2 straight last week. Normally a reliable kick. That hasn't changed. He's got his first.
And the good thing, Dan, is that they can play him forward, even sit him back, but then they can bring him into the midfield as they did against Brisbane last week. He went in and dominated the midfield in the critical point of the game, the turning of the game.
Well, I'm excited because we've played 13 minutes of football. I've had 6 goals scored already. We've been down here a few times, David. fair to say we haven't had great spectacles, but this looms as a fantastic contest.
Luke Hodge.
And Wilson's got the job. Wilson's got the job on Hodge.
Played every game this year. Luke Hodge, one of 9 Hawthorn players to have done that. And the ball up, Brogan in the ruck now for Port Adelaide. Cassisi. And a quick kick out of the middle from Corns to half forward. Ebert comes hard, tries to shoot a quick fire handball out. Missed Surgeon, goes in to mop up his own mess and is successful. Gets a free for a push. So Brett Ebert, another having an outstanding season, 46 goals this year. And now Salopek inside 50, but
well, that's a silly kick because Lade's pushed forward in the ruck and you've got Westhoff and you go short to David Roden to a 2-on-1. So bad option there.
Smith to Gillum. And he does find Bateman off the fingertips of Westhoff towards Ellis. In fact, Westhoff cuts it off this time.
That's good.
Shrugs the tackle with strength. Now Sean Burgoyne hasn't got a lot to go to. Tries to manufacture something to Thompson. Gets a hand on it. Knocks it to his own advantage. Crawford almost cut it off. Thompson shoots it out. Surge in direction. Westhoff. Out of trouble. Dumped. Didn't seem to get a legal handball away. But it comes clear regardless. Birchall. Bateman. Cassisi. Some turnovers in this first term.
Just cute. Too cute there, Chance Bateman.
Peter Burgoyne. And now Motlop, who wants to back himself in from 50.
Well, those turnovers are critical on the half-back line there, Chance Bateman. He's the go-to player out wide. And when you're giving the ball like that without a lot of pressure, you just need to go longer instead of shorter under pressure.
In all of this, I'm wondering what's happened to Guira. Whether he's been relieved of his shot.
That's a massive launch from Daniel Motlop. That monkey's well and truly off his back. He's got 2.
Fantastic start for both teams. Mark Williams swinging the change. It started with Treadray. Now he's swung Brendan Lade down there at Westhoff. And, of course, Motlop. He's already had a spell on the bench. So Mark Williams really swinging the changes here. Both coaches trying to get into each other's head at the moment.
And Westhoff is not just a good athlete. He's got a great footy head for a... Well, he's in his early 20s, but great football brain.
Pearce. 2 players on the open side. Thurston's Wilson. Time enough for a bounce. Treadray short. Can't hit him, but got an arm slap by Crow. Play on to advantage.
Great running, Wilson.
Wilson swoops on it. Central kick. Gathered by Surgeon. And offline and just through for a behind from there.
Well, that deserved a goal.
That did.
Michael Willison started the ball in the half-back line, then followed up after the kick to Treadray. Surgeon had more time than he thought there, David.
Well, because Hodge didn't leave the back end of the square at any stage. He watched him go, walked and watched.
Last time these 2 teams met was round 10 at Amy's Stadium. Hawthorn winning by 34 points that day. Campbell Brown. And what a tough week he's had after admitting during the week that told a little lie at the Chris Judd eye gouge tribunal appearance. Fine $7,500. He'll be happy to get that week over and done with. Guerra can rush it behind. Keeps it alive to Young. To Crawford. Trouble. Boundary line a win.
Well, this is an entree for what the finals is going to be like, Dave. There's a lot of pressure out there. The Port run that I've identified, they're really putting the Hawks under pressure at the moment.
And even when they're not under actual pressure, the perceived pressure is there. They're doing well, Port.
Campbell from the ball in, but down to Travis Boak, who gets the snap away. And Campbell Brown sits under it and takes the strong mark. I mentioned that Hawthorn won by 34 points earlier this year at Amy's Stadium, but Port Adelaide led by 4 goals early in that game before Hawthorn got going. They're taking a while to get going today as well. Bateman. Mitchell. Kane Corns was with him. And the ball out of play.
And Spud, they also have to be a little bit careful because they're leaving Peter Burgoyne free behind for Port Adelaide at the moment as well. So the Hawks will have to watch that one.
Brogan and Campbell, hands on each other. Roden, through traffic to Chad Corns. Low trajectory kick, Westhoff on the line.
He's got a beautiful set of hands, Westhoff.
And he pops it to Lade, who's also got a very good set of hands. Tougher kick than the one he had a couple of minutes ago, but he'd fancy his chances from here.
Well, their finishing work at the moment, Port Adelaide, is far superior to Hawthorn. Turnovers, lack of result from pressured situations from Hawthorn.
Turned 31 years of age last month, Brendan Laird. What an outstanding career he's had. And he kicks into the post. Well, there was no daylight between them.
Well, the positive for Hawthorn at the moment, David, they've only gone inside their forward 56 times to Port's 11. The Port have kicked the 4 goals for, so
they're still keeping them in the game.
Letting them off the hook with their inaccuracy at the moment.
Agreed.
Guerra. McGlynn. And that's way too wide. It's out of play on the full.
I've just been noticing the Hawthorn forward line. They've been disciplined in staying back in the box formation, but at the moment,
they're forced to come up.
Hawthorn midfield are under pressure.
So they've come up to join them.
So it's up to Port Adelaide now whether they just bomb it long or whether they try and entice a few Hawthorn players out of that zone. They bomb it long to Treadray. Big slap by Campbell Brown. Pearce, Wilson, Chaplin. No one to go too long that's open, so back to Wilson, back to Peter Burgoyne, and this might happen a bit now with Hawthorn flooding back. McGlynn. And the Hawks get one on the rebound. Brogan to his own advantage.
Oh, great play by Brogan.
Salopek, Wilson, Chad Corns. Again, no one free up forward. Westhoff. Chad Corns has possession number 9. Bateman is pushed out by Westhoff cleverly and will get a ball in. Well, this is what Hawthorn did in that round 10 game at Amey Stadium. When Port Adelaide got their 4-goal lead, they pushed players back.
That's great athleticism there from Brogan in the middle of the ground.
Lade to Ellis to Bateman. Young. And now they try and break. Campbell Brown with a paddock. He can have a couple of bounces, Campbell Brown. Cassisi comes at him. Now he peels off. Campbell Brown continues. Now Cassisi comes at him again, but he kicks inside 50 and Chaplin gets back, takes the mark.
One thing Port have really done well, David, at the moment is covering the exits for Hawthorn. They love switching the ball to Hawks. Port are right on the money there.
And they're very well set up around the circle in the rear 50, wide and numbered by heaps.
Brogan working hard. Salopek, first game for him since round 12. Returned from the ankle injury he had for Glenelg last week in the Sandful and helped them beat Port Adelaide in the Sandful. And now Chaplin in the back pocket.
I think that your call, Dan, about the set forward line. When Hawthorn are playing well, they keep that 4 anchored. When the 4 aren't in there, you know they're under pressure.
Wilson back to Brogan, and again Port Adelaide refusing to just bomb it long into the Hawthorn zone. Nice movement. Peter Burgoyne a couple of bounces. Now he's got a couple of one-on-ones to go to. Lade is one of them with Gillum, and will get a ball in.
And Treadray ought to be upset then. He did get free. I know he was wide, but he should have been used for his own benefit. But at the moment, he was the right option, and Burgoyne Peter just refused to use him.
And the beauty of Treadray at the moment, even though he's had the 2 disposals, he's moving well.
Yep, looks athletically good, yeah.
Crode, Birchall, Guerra, Ellis, and now they peel off to the open side. Lewis chasing him down. Salopek
get on his left.
Corrals him. Comes inboard to Young. Crunched by Brogan and 50.
He was going to play the advantage, Dwayne.
Okay.
It would have been the 50 if he'd taken it after the mark, but it was...
As he marked it.
Yeah.
And he kicks toward Franklin. Forward pocket. Lance Franklin's afternoon hasn't really started. Ball in.
Well, you've got to ask Salopek. You know Jordan Lewis is a left footer. He had to corral on that side of the grounds. We just see this marking contest. Yeah, it was only a free kick.
It's a good call. Franklin's only possession, Dan, has been in the back 50s. The only time he's touched the ball.
Roughhead. Didn't get a push in the back from Brogan according to the umpire. Sean Burgoyne, Cassisi, Salopek, and now Ebert all the way up to the wing.
We'll have to hold it up here, Dwayne, because the Hawks have got extra numbers back. Oh, they hold it up or go wide.
And wide is where they go, and there's those beautiful, soft and yet strong hands from Westhoff.
He's the danger. I reckon he's the danger man today.
Well, it's been a good inclusion, Treadray, because it's just allowed Westhoff to grab the third or fourth defender.
That's exactly right.
Where Treadray comes in, he's going to get, the first or second defender. So he's a very good inclusion, Treadray.
What do you reckon that swap should be on? I reckon it should be on immediately. You went for the other way round. I think Crode's got the wrong bloke.
Chad Corn sends it long to the square. Modlop's got 2 to beat. Guerra's down there. Westhoff, Guerra, boundary line. And with 2:47 on the clock to quarter time, we'll get a ball in. Good crowd in for arguably the biggest game Aurora Stadium's seen. A battle between second and third for second on the ladder. Brogan slaps it back. Pearce thought about getting a snap. Chad Corns, he thought about it, goes to brother. Kane takes on Latson, runs inside 50 and nails it. He's got 2.
It started in the ruck stoppages, David. Dean Brogan, talk about inclusion. You see Kane Corns there kicking his second goal, but the ruck stoppage was absolutely terrific. You see his brother Chad, he's always the sweeper, gives it to his younger brother and say, I'll sweep it, you seal the deal.
Beautiful user. He just sets it up so well. He could have gone deep and in. He was encouraged to do that. He used his brother laterally who got the goal. Chad Corns has got to be nailed now.
Well, they've always got on well, the two brothers. They might be fighting each other for the best and fairest this year for Port Adelaide. But that didn't concern them then. They combined to get an important goal in the shadows of quarter time.
The Port have got Chad Corns and Brendan Lade, both behind the ball in the Hawks forward 50.
Sewell. And he extracted it back to Ladson, who has to head wide. Boyle, whose afternoon hasn't really started either. Chaplin, who's done well. Bateman squeezed it to Lewis. Low in the rough head direction. Strong hands from Roughhead.
Great uses into the circus. They just squared it enough. They got through and over and around all of those blokes who sat back.
Well, not only that, Parko, you see Brendan Lade and Chad Corns. They were guarding the one area. And one of those players had to be. You see Lade in the corner of the screen come in being frustrated. Had to guard the dangerous spot.
Well, he's a 50-50 goal kicker normally, but shouldn't miss from here. He kicked 3-3 last week. He's now got 30 goals, 29 for the year.
Well, that hurts because Mark Williams thought we'll go in quarter time with a 16-point lead. We'll throw Lade and Chad Corns behind the balls. We just see this passage of play. And look, it was a terrific kick from Lewis. But have a look at the two Port players here. Yep. Corns and Lade guarding the one area. Mark Williams wouldn't be too happy.
Now, a couple of kids might do that, but not two of your most experienced players. They'd be talking and setting up correctly. Bypassed, goal scored.
Port Adelaide coach's box, Mark Williams, who had to come out in the press this week and say he's not interested in the Essendon job. But Dean Bailey, who's in there, in that Port Adelaide box, is one of the last 5 in the running for the Melbourne job. Push from Cassisi, free kick to Hawthorn again to Lewis.
It was a good tackle, but just had to drop his knees, Cassisi.
Hodges kick smothered, Ladson feeds it back. Bateman, they've got a run on here, the Hawks. Taylor turns it over. Cassisi to Boak. No one forward for him to go to. Westhoff, the only one. He'll need to gobble this up. Oh, he was crunched. Umpire said it was okay from his Hawthorn opponent, Gillum. And the ball's still alive. Boak dives in. Westhoff. Gillum. Threads it through. Crode. Guerra. And if it sits, Ladson can get a possession here. He knocks it on. And it's out of play with 44 seconds left on the clock.
Lovely Jordan Lewis here. We just see Cassisi just had to drop his knees a little bit earlier there, but the momentum pushed him forward. But having a look at young Westhoff here, that's a magnificent contest from both those players.
Clean hit. I reckon a clean hit of the ball.
Travis Boak again to Roden. Inside to Chaplin. And now Salopek. He loads up from 50, goes long and strong. They're back to 16 points in front.
You can't predict this, Dan, can you? I mean, it was ferocious to the point where Hawthorn would have been very happy to have got back within a goal, and I thought they might sit a couple back now, but no, we went for it, turned the thing over, through it goes. Terrific play set up then.
The thing I like about Port at the moment is their clean hands.
Yep.
They're releasing the ball by hands to take the pressure off the ball, and they're really releasing their runners. As I said, Stephen Salopek, he's another inclusion. 7 disposals, 1 goal.
Well, it's a wonderful effort. Here's a guy, what's it, round 12 since he played his last, coming back from a serious injury. He's been very constructive, always had beautiful hands and a good head.
Some big ins for Port Adelaide. Salopek, Treadray and Brogan. And they get the clearance. Chad Corns, a wobbler. Smith cuts it off. Dangerous here. 16 seconds left. Campbell-Brown feeds it back. Guerra to Gillum. And the ex-Port Adelaide player, just the one game for Port Adelaide, Stephen Gillum, holds it up. And they can eat the seconds up. Quarter time here in Launceston. We've seen some strange games here before. We've seen some low-scoring, pressureless encounters here before. But this is for second spot on the ladder, and it's living up to expectations. A 10-goal opening term. It's a shootout, and Port Adelaide lead at quarter time. 6-4-40 to Hawthorn. 4 straight, 24.
This Father's Day, it's all about Dad at Harvey Norman. Shop now for your chance to win one of 10 fantastic Jayco Eagle camper trailers. Small to tow, big to live in, the Eagle sleeps 6 in comfort. No wonder it's Australia's favourite camper trailer. Valued at $20,400 each. Win and your family holidays could become a ticket to freedom. Just make a Dad's Day gift purchase now to go in the draw. With great deals and 10 great Jayco camper trailers to be won, Dad's Day is a winner at Harvey Norman.
Just wait here, I'll be 2 secs.
It's easy to get your footy fix fast with AFL video highlights on the Nokia 6120 Classic and the Telstra Next G network.
What do you think?
Awesome.
Really?
You look good.
Ask for a demonstration at Telstra shops today.
Bunnings gift cards come in $10, $20, $50 and $100 values, so the kids can come in and grab Dad a $10 gift card, or Mum can come in and spoil Dad with a $100 gift card.
Steel stepladder $36.90. Makita grinder kit $99. Endeavour 4-burner barbecue $399. Cordless screwdriver $79. Fire extinguisher $19.88.
If Dad's got several children, he's going to do very well on Father's Day morning from Bunnings.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
No city appreciates a sporting occasion like Melbourne. Grand Final Day is the ultimate. For a player, there's no greater thrill than running onto the G. For the football aficionado, the ultimate Grand Final experience is inside Centre Square. World-class hospitality and a prime seat at the game make Centre Square the ultimate way for you and your clients to enjoy one of the great days in world sport. Don't miss your chance to access the ultimate Grand Final experience. Find out more at centresquare.com.au.
From the ball up. Kane Corns, another clearance high. Ebert sits under it. Good fist by Campbell-Brown, but straight to Cassisi towards Ebert. Through traffic, Boak. Tied up by Mitchell. And it's in there somewhere. We'll get a ball up.
We see this stoppage here. Chad Corns started the play in the back half. Just see him now walking into the stoppage. Here's the sweeper. No one's on Chad Corns at the moment, yet he's had the 8 handball receives, which is quite interesting.
Lewis tried to grab it. Campbell does. Mitchell. Young. Mitchell forced to backtrack. Birchall. And now the pass towards Boyle. Holds it on 50. Thought about playing on. Franklin needs to the pocket. It's ignored. It's in Dixon's direction. Lewis down there as well. And it's almost out of play on the full.
Did
In
anyone
fact,
touch
the two
the ball?
umpires had a look at each other there in
Well,
confusion.
they did. The three blokes who led all gave Boyle a very long, hard stare.
I was surprised if anyone touched that ball because it definitely went over the line on the full.
Brogan down to Chad Corns. Fended off, got a handball. Thurston's little fumble to Hodge. Caught, dropped it. Feeds it out to Lewis. He a little fumble. Franklin basketballs it to himself.
Great skill.
Bateman, he takes them on, kicks the full forward, and it's wide. And this one is out of play on the full.
I love that great call to aim on it. Basketball, he just was all over the place. He used to get a hit like a round ball and said, come back to me, and it did.
And people might think that he was lucky it bounced up, but the players are so clever the way they do it these days. It is amazing. Elevation in skills in the last 10 years. Roden takes on Birchall. It's the kick towards half forward. Rolling ball. Ebert can't get there in time. We'll get a ball in.
What a super year David Roden's had. Leading Port for contested possessions. Knee reconstruction 2 years ago with the Tigers and been given a lifeline by Mark Williams and Port. It's a great story.
He has delivered, hasn't he?
Well, he might be proof that players coming off a knee reconstruction need at least a year before they're back. And Richmond didn't give him that time. Young, free kick and play on advantage, but once again they had to feed it back. Mitchell, Campbell Brown, Crawford makes the ground. Half an arm slapped. Now dragged to the line by Surgeon. And we'll get a ball in.
Well, it's great play. Chad Corns started one end. Rick Ladson started in Hawthorn's back 50, but now Alistair Clarkson wants Ladson now, as we see in camera there, going to Chad Corns.
Brogan, but down to Sewell. Guerra shoots the handball to Bateman, to Birchall, to Lewis. Franklin calls for it long.
Great
in
kick.
his direction. He was held, and Lance Franklin will get the free.
He's a bit stiff. Young Pettigrew, I thought, was just a bit stiff. It was a bit of a half hook as he was going, just a natural reaction to put your arm out. The film might show differently, but I thought he was a bit unlucky.
Well, if that's the free kick, there's not a lot in that. Look at the leather law, he did hang on to his left arm, so it was there.
Lance Franklin for his first of the afternoon, and the perfect start for the second term for Hawthorn.
I suppose it's a classic example of use your body to defend, and unfortunately there for young Pettigrew, he just stuck out his right arm to grab Lance Franklin's left arm. As we just see here, yeah, look, he did have hold of his right arm, so the letter of the law.
How would you feel? You played that role forever. How would you feel to get one on the end of that?
I'd be very frustrated.
It's a tight contest at the moment. These two teams could meet in September. They're playing for second spot on the ladder today. The loser, if the Kangaroos win, will drop to fifth. Kane Corns kick smothered. Toe poke from Peter Burgoyne. Boundary line. And we'll get another ball in. So very important game with just 2 rounds of the home and away season left.
Just knows Hawthorn to get a lot of numbers around the stoppages now, try and outnumber the opposition.
Laid down to Pearce. High towards the pocket. And Corns and Ladson tied up. Campbell Brown dragged down. It's a tough, tight, hard contest at the moment.
And it's good to see Ladson and Corns have contested 3 times now in 3 different parts of the ground. It's great.
Little push and now thump through for a behind. Laid asking for the free kick, didn't get it.
He's not happy with that, Laid. Good final as he's being paid that.
Joel Smith.
Hands in the back there from Campbell in that ruck contest.
Heads long towards Campbell. Laid's man Boak gets back and causes the spoil. Pearce dives in. Campbell still there. Pearce gets on the end of the Cassisi handball. Sends it inside, hoping for Modlot, but Guerra gets back and thumps it across the line.
What a super play from Guerra. We just see this ruck stoppage here with Campbell and Laid.
Yeah.
Maybe just went down in the contest. Wasn't actually a push from Campbell, just holding his ground.
He played for it. He took his chances.
Yeah, good decision for the umpire.
Yep. Pearce, Sean Burgoyne, Pearce, Kane Corns, Pearce from the pocket, and he misses Only a behind. But what a gun he is turning out to be, Daniel Pearce. 28 possessions last week again. He's only 21 years of age, of course, and an NAB Rising Star winner from last year. He actually got the 3 Brownlow votes against Hawthorn in round 11 last year at Amy Stadium. That game was.
And didn't he deserve them? We were there that day. He deserved those.
Finished 10th, equal 10th in the Brownlow last year with 13 votes. An amazing season. Campbell Brown. Boakes with him.
Great poise.
Hassled off it, and Boak to Sean Burgoyne, to Ebert, not the second grab. Guerra to Campbell Brown. And now Taylor, and they can run here, the Hawks. Taylor feeds it off to Birchall. The local Tasmanian boy playing on his home hill. Heads wide towards Dixon. He keeps it alive. Roughhead inside 50 to his own advantage. Big tackle by Thurstons. Made sure he didn't go high. And it's tied up. Ball up.
Just go back to it for Campbell Browns. He was tired getting out on the wing, wasn't he? Had to work on the way back and was responsible for coming out again. Terrific tackle, that. Absolutely outstanding.
Brogan took it out of the air. Umpire pays it. The crowd knew it. They called for it.
Sammy Mitchell let me know too, Dwayne. And look, he's been terrific, Brogan, but just a little bit of a brain fade there. You have to know when there's a lot of congestion around, you grab the ball, you must dispose it by hand or foot.
Taylor to Young, who is a long launch of the ball, and distance was never the worry. Accuracy and only a behind.
And there it goes again, Des no kidding. I hate this rule. I don't mind the ruckman taking it out if they get caught. It's caught.
The only thing with that, David, though, if it's not there, the ruckman will continually grab it, and there'll be a lot more stoppages.
That's the reason they've changed the rule.
Chet Corns to Boak. Chet Corns has now had 13 possessions. And we're only 10 minutes into the second term.
The pleasant part from Alistair Clarkson's point of view and the coaching staff, they've stemmed the flow somewhat. They've really been able to stop this run and carry game of Port, which we saw in the first quarter.
Peter Burgoyne does well with Lade to release himself down the wing. Long towards Brogan. Taylor gets there for the half volley. Crawford tried to shovel out a handball to Smith. Dispossessed. Crawford back in. Taylor, Birchall, Gillum, Campbell Brown. Pops it up. Dangerous ball for Ellis. They could have raffled it, the three of them. Roden waited. Ellis, Bateman, beautifully done. Crawford toward Young.
Got no right foot.
Hunted down by Wilson. Had to come onto the left, and it favoured Lance Franklin. He takes them on. Runs to 50. Caught. Dishes off to Ellis. Just needs to finish. And can't. And it's almost a mark to Cassisi on the line. No, a behind.
Positive signs there from Xavier Ellis. He got the ball on the half-back flank and continued to run. That was fantastic to see from young Ellis.
Kane Corns, possession number 11.
Play on.
Thompson, caught. Mitchell, Roughhead, can play on, runs to 40, and he misses.
Chapman letting Ruffy know as well, but...
Well, it's high stakes.
He didn't have to go. I think there's a bloke panicking about how he's going to complete the task, so he runs on and gets an excuse for it.
So you think he should have just waited?
Yeah, he should have stopped and gone back and kicked it.
Lade.
What if he had kicked it, David?
I would have changed my mind to get that.
Alapate Carlisle, or Bob Carlisle as they call him, because the Port players couldn't say Alapate when he first arrived at the club. To Wilson, to Chaplin.
Hawthorn's defensive tactics this quarter are starting to really pay dividends. Not only that, they're winning the 50-50 ball.
Chaplin's kick smothered by Ellis. Dives in and is met high.
On the knee, no. He just, in the push from behind Dwayne, he struck the knee of the Port Adelaide player, still rubbing it.
Cassisi.
To Cassisi, I think it is, and he's hit him pretty hard.
And of course, Xavier, you're right, he stumbled. He lost his footing. We'll just see here. Yeah, his leg got caught. He's on the way down, so there was nothing malice in that, but the free kick was definitely there.
Unfortunate there. He's a good player, Alison. He still gets caught a bit because he's just not quick enough with the decision making, but he's a wonderful recruit.
Good kick.
And centering ball, and it is marked. No, Roughhead gets the free.
Well, the kick drew the free kick. We thought Luke Hodge was going to mark the ball, but it was just a smart kick from Xavier Ellis. Put the ball in the air, gives the forwards an opportunity.
We're going to have a look at that again, because Luke Hodge, did he pull his hands down on the finish and just let it go by? You don't ever do that, do you, if you're standing in front?
Well, it was the game against Port Adelaide earlier this year, round 10, that turned Jared Roughhead's season around. He played for Box Hill, the reserves team, on the Saturday, and was called in to play on the Sunday, back-to-back games for the Hawks, and he hasn't looked back since. He's got 2.
Now,
You're right, David.
Can I rest my case?
You can rest your
case.
case.
He's a far better set shot than he's a running, mate.
And you're rightly so. It was interesting after Jared kicked the goal, he was looking around for Cassisi and saying, where are you now? And Chaplin, but as we just see there, over the shoulder from young Boak, a little bit lucky in the end, but the free was definitely there.
He's a bit stepped up. I think Hodge was actually game for the mark.
Port Adelaide still yet to kick a goal in this term. Ball not down to Thompson. The Hawks have kicked 2. Boak from the pocket misses. Only a behind.
Just going back a bit, McGuinn would be he's a player badly out of confidence at the moment. Has dropped a couple that went into his hands, made poor decisions. He'll need a rest, I think. Had 3 only possessions up until this point of the game.
The Hawks have slowed it down successfully. The only 2 goals of the term. And we've played 17 minutes now in this second quarter. Ellis, Treadray, got the handball out eventually to Kane Corns, who was dumped after by Mitchell. Play on advantage. Pearce, centering kick to Roden, who can go back and steady.
Well, that is to super play from Daniel Pearce. Just have the awareness under pressure. Normally just expecting to get the ball on his boot, but just have the awareness to look inside and lower his eyes and just squirt a ball to David Roden. That is skill at its absolute best.
But the decision and the capacity to see him and deliver it. And a great hand pass from the captain under pressure. Treadray's terrific jag out when he was tackled severely.
So Roden from 45. He's been very accurate this year. He's kicked 24 goals, 8. But inaccurate this time, another behind.
Well, that suggests the wind's gone round a fair bit. That ball carried very badly right with the wind.
Saying that, he tried to ride the kick a little bit instead of kicking through the ball.
Crowd wanted 50 against Treadray. Didn't get it. Lewis between fullback and halfback. Port Adelaide by 4 points. Campbell, Birchall, Roughhead about to leap.
That's going to suit Roughhead, that kick.
Chaplin, Roughhead got both hands on it. Cassisi, Pettigrew, normally uses it well. Laid, back to Cassisi. He's got the wide option. Pearce hits him.
It's great to have some leg speed, another gear up your sleeve. It looked like he was under pressure there on Clinton Young, but then just put the afterburners on to break the leg rope.
Kane Corns. This will be possession number 12, in fact. Back to Chad.
Well, I've been watching Sewell and Chad Corns. Sewell is playing in the midfield on Corns. If Corns goes back, he leaves him there and says, well, you can get as many possessions as you like down there, Chad, but as soon as you get to the centre, I'm all over you.
I think that's a dangerous principle to play with Chad Corns, though. He's the one who sets up anybody else.
Well, he's had 20. Sean Burgoyne wide. Pettigrew, boundary line beats him. And will get a ball in. We're about to tick into time on in this second term. And there is the top 5. Bateman not far behind Chad Corns, and then Peter Burgoyne. Back into play. Thompson to Laid. Slips the kick towards the top of the 50. Treadray with the big spoil on Campbell Brown. Birchall to Bateman. Gets around Boak.
Too easy.
Crowd. Caught. Shrugged it. Birchall caught. Or just got a kick away in time. And now Young to Franklin. Runs the middle. Oh, he's caught. Got it off to Roughhead. He heads long. McGlynn's got 2 to beat. He was tied up. Free kick. They can take the lead, the Hawks.
What's come out of today I think, Dwayne, is that Franklin under pressure twice has actually delivered two very telling hand passes. Not a great handball, in my opinion, to set up other people. Under pressure this time, he's allowed this goal to be attempted.
Well, he's number one for the Hawks for score assists, Ben McGlynn. He's kicked 14 goals himself this year. 4-10-11 for number 15, and more importantly, the Hawks are in front.
Great comeback from Hawthorn. Quite interestingly, Hawthorn have kicked 3 of their goals this quarter from free kicks. But the key was they've got the ball into a really dangerous spot, which puts the defenders and defence under pressure. You see this play from Franklin. Took Pettigrew on. But the key to that was great tackle from Pettigrew, but Franklin kept his arms up to deliver the handball to Franklin, which in turn was a very good kick to McGlynn. As you said, Dave, it's been pretty quiet. But if you end up with 2 goals as a coming forward, you've done your job.
First goal of the afternoon for Ben McGlynn. Hawthorn by 2 points. In the shadows of half-time. Bright sunshine here in Launceston. And it's living up to expectations. Thompson tries to get it out. Campbell tries to shuffle his way through.
And gets a free kick.
Oh, he hit that well, didn't he? Twice he buried himself under like a small bloke. In the second time got rewarded.
To Lewis, to Young, to the goal square. Corns getting back
Great
with the flight.
courage, Corns.
Peter Burgoyne got it out towards Wilson. Crawford left it behind. Wilson to Pearce. To Chad Corns, who was quick up.
I'll have to run it with hands here because you look ahead, there's all Hawthorn players, so you just need to run and carry and show some poise.
Peter Burgoyne got it from Pearce, gives it to Ebert.
That's a better kick to Ebert. They just need to put the ball to some more grass for Ebert.
Great
Too many
mark.
times have kicked the ball on top of his head.
He's got such good hands, that one's coming within his reach.
Heads back to Pearce. And every Hawthorn player in front of Daniel Pearce.
Bit early to be doing this. Normally you do this about a minute before the end of the game. There's still 4.5 minutes of play.
And then 2 quarters after that.
And they say they don't do it, the Hawks, but this is the Hawks' greatest method.
Thurston's to Westhoff. A little push as he marked it.
The start of opportunities, Westhoff, this quarter.
And he hits Thompson.
Roden just on the ground if you can see him, but
short to Lade, and he might be just beyond his range, but if he gave it his best, he slides it in the Ebert direction. It's too wide, out of play on the full.
Well, they learnt from the kicks to Ebert, kicking the ball to grass, but unfortunately a couple of blades too many there, David.
Exactly.
Young, and so the Hawks can reload. To Sewell. Thought about running the wing, but he needs players to get forward for him. And now they start to get there. Dixon. Ladson peeling off.
Terrific run from Ladson.
And from 50, sends it to Roughhead.
Yeah, that's a great kick. Ordinary defence, though, from the Port players. Just watch the ball carrier.
They all charge back towards goal.
Well, you're spot on, David. You just saw the Port defence. We're watching Ladson, so what's he going to do? But as soon as you do that, you lose contact and sight of your direct opponent. As we see here, Ladson kick it in, and we've got Brogan and Chaplin watching the ball kicker and watching Roughhead take a grab.
For goal number 3, they're on the surge, the Hawks.
Well, David, you've convinced me now with Roughhead. Do not play on when you're in kicking range, because it's a very good set shot.
Well, he's been a 50-50, hasn't he? I think if you look at his record, I don't think it's much better than that.
Well,
says he, looking for his record.
As we see Roughhead kick his 3rd goal, the key to that was Ladson. He looked in before he kicked the ball. You saw his eyes look inboard, which was a terrific kick.
Jared Roughhead, who said not long after he was drafted that he wanted to model his game on Warren Treadray. And he's playing a Treadray-like game up forward at the moment. He's the leading scorer on the ground with 3 goals.
Port have now put 2 loose players behind the ball again, Dwayne.
For the last 2 minutes. All shuffled out. Crawford, Surgeon to Roden. to Wilson. Kane Corns. Birchall ties up with Sean Burgoyne. Thompson cuts it off. Sean Burgoyne dives in. Slaps it to Wilson. Thought about taking it. Does take it to the boundary line. And will get a ball in. Hawthorn by 8 points. Their biggest lead of the game.
And they've still got some, you know, the Hodge-type players, the Mitchell-type players have yet to make a real presence in this game.
Laid. Copybook down to Thompson. Towards Eben at half forward. Doesn't get to him. Guerra.
Porter got loose players behind the ball, which effectively means Guerra's free for Hawthorn.
Gillum to Guerra. Just gets the kick away. Crawford will need to work hard. He's got two there with him. Slides in and almost still wins it. Boak. Peter Burgoyne. Looks up. Broden's inside 50. Needs to fly. Does well. Knocks it down, but Crode was waiting. Dixon. Roughhead. And now Bateman can play on. Franklin's on the lead. It's a wobbler. Brogan getting back. Good hands. Tough to mark the floaters.
When it does fly up and down, it flies up and down the ground. One end to the other in a matter of seconds.
He's going to chip the ball around the boundary line here, Port. Try and get one last crack at a scoring opportunity before half-time.
Thurston's got it from Salopek and holds it up. Toby Thurston's back again to Pettigrew, who is their quarterback, really. They give it to him when they need the possession from defence to be precise. And he gets the call to play on. Heads in the Brogan direction. Thurston's and Brogan, and Thurston's takes a strong mark. 50 seconds and counting. So the Hawks will go in with a lead at half-time. Been a good quarter for them. They've held Port Adelaide goalless to this point. Wouldn't want to concede one now. Kane Corns. They've kicked 4 goals themselves for the quarter, Hawthorn. 2 of them to Jared Roughhead. And now some boos.
Normally, I would be critical of Hawthorn manning them up, but I think Alistair Clarkson will be happy with the lead also. So let's not man any Port player up. Let's let them chip the ball around. We're happy with this 8-point lead at half-time.
And there's a lot of players looking for petrol tickets at this moment. They've run really hard. I mean, you couldn't keep this running up for the whole game.
Half-time here in Launceston. Heavyweight contest between 2 premiership contenders. Second spot on the AFL ladder, up for grabs for the winner tonight. But the loser could slip down as far as 5th. So the double chance, the all-important double chance on the line this afternoon. And Alistair Clarkson will be happy to be in front at the half. 8-4-52 Hawthorn. Port Adelaide 6-8-44. Half-time here under beautiful skies at Aurora Stadium in Launceston, and it's an 8-point lead to the Hawks. Port Adelaide and Hawthorn both out there having a chat about what might happen in the second half as we have been up here.
Well, you're right, Dwayne. I think 10 goals have been scored to the right of screen, so there's obviously a little bit of a wind advantage. In saying that, you know, Hawthorn kicked 4 goals in the first quarter.
Rowan Smith on the boundary.
Well, boys, I can give you an update on that wind. It is certainly favouring the right-hand end. It's just built up over the half-time break. So, but look, Hawthorn, you could see in that first half, were playing a very taxing style of play, getting all their numbers down back and then charging forward. So you can see if they can continue that in the second half, boys.
Well, Hawthorn had 423 disposals in their win last week against the Brisbane Lions, the most ever by a Hawthorn team. And if they maintain possession well enough in the second half as they did in the second term, they'll go a long way to securing second spot on the AFL ladder tonight with just 2 rounds of the AFL season to be played. The loser tonight might find themselves 5th on the AFL ladder.
The difficulty, Dwayne, is if they have to come from behind, having worked as hard as this, but they'll protect their lead as well as any team in the competition. If they get to the stage in the finish, that they have a scoreboard advantage, they'll do that well.
I'm going for Hawthorn because they're in front. They've had limited impact from Franklin, Hodge and Mitchell. It's fair to say you won't be able to keep those three players out for 4 quarters.
And they've been able to do a little in the sense of controlling Chad Corns. I think that's been a difficult task when they've used 4 different opponents, but he's certainly not the freedom that he had previously.
Well, Mark Williams is going with Brogan free behind the ball, which then releases Rick Ladson for Hawthorn.
Bounce to start the second half. An early jump by Robert Campbell. Hodge dives in. He's tied up by Boak and holding the ball. Well, it's a tough rule. He did dive in, Hodge, but at the same time, you enjoy that aggression and you don't want players to sweat off to lay the tackle. And even he's amazed.
Yeah, well, what else was he to do there? He went hard at the ball. He's been doing it since he was 3 years of age at Colac, Dwayne. Very hard to change.
Kane Corns holds it up on the wing. Possession number 16 for him to Ebert. Feeds outside 50 to get a possession. Well,
they have to possess the ball. Just see Ladson inside the forward 50 there. So they basically have to chip the ball or go laterally.
Pettigrew. And he sent a long bomb in the west-off direction. Good fly, but not a successful fly by Gillum. Toe poke by Schoenberg going across the face. And we'll get a ball in. 52 plays 44. Hawks by 8 points.
And Hodge has been, to this point, has still been arguing with the umpire about what was he supposed to do up until this moment when the ball went out of bounds. And I think that's not good leadership.
And the ball in. Lade flicks it back. Bateman can't trap it. Roden dives in. Shrugs the tackle. Got a little kick away. Joel Smith caught. And Guerra drags it through for a behind.
It's just gone up a bit now. I think this is a crucial period in the game, Dan.
Well, just notice that Warren Treadray starting on the bench, so I think Mark Williams is going to put him on when the speed goes out of this quarter a little bit.
Franklin inboard to Hodge, who kept his feet and his eye on the ball, but missed the target with the handball. Kane Corns ties it up. Crowd wanted ball, and we'll get a ball up. Here is this dive in by Hodge.
Well, that's just a great contest. He never had any prior opportunity to get that out. Both players went at the ball. I think that should have been a ball
Shocker.
up.
Corns tried to shuffle a handball through traffic.
Good run from Crawford.
He gave it to Ladson to Crawford. Franklin calls for it back. He goes short to Boyle. Hasn't kicked one yet today, Tim Boyle. But we know he's a very accurate kick. 30 goals, 17 for the season.
Well, I reckon this Dwayne would, this breeze, which is across to his right, and it's a reasonable distance, this will test him to the limits of what's a fantastic technique.
Well, he kicked 1-3 last week, which is uncharacteristic. He's been outstanding this year, and as you said, David, it floats and is marked in the goal square by Brogan.
Sloppy handball there from Brogan.
It was. Chad Corns was put under pressure. Cassisi. Back to Chad Corns. Possession number 22 for him to Kane. Ball eludes him. He dives in and is tied up. Mitchell to Hodge.
Beautiful kick.
Crawford. And now Guerra. Thought about loading up from 50. Wide. Ladson. Chip kick. Roughhead on the move. And hits the post. And Ladson's down behind play.
Just after he delivered the ball, got a heavy knock. Well, just a clash of heads there. Accidental. Michael Pettigrew and Ladson. No doubt that was accidental.
Yeah, it was. And when they're playing one short, there's like, in this professional age, Hawthorn now, since that time, have played one short.
Well, I hope he's okay, because a clash of heads sometimes can... looks like he's on his feet now. That's great news.
And he's staying on by the looks of things, so no blood coming from his head anywhere. Mitchell slapped it out, but to Chad Corns. Boak.
He's racking them up again, Dwayne.
Chad Corns, as you said, they're allowing him to rack them up in the backward 50.
Well, Joel Smith's free for Hawthorn. That's why when Port go forward, they're a little bit confused, and it releases runners like Ladson.
Well, he looks okay.
Lazarus.
Short pass to Franklin. And Lance Franklin can line up from the 50.
Oh, Rick Ladson doesn't want to do that too often. I think he's the dog that cried wolf if he does that. He lay dead for 10 minutes and now got up and played a freakish run and usage. Oh, I think you've nominated him there, Dan. Oh, now he's coming off.
How did the other dogs treat that dog?
You're a hard man, David.
Oh, boy.
Dog. Franklin from 50. Starts at left,
Super
brings
kick.
it back. Super kick from a super player.
Porter up against it for mine, because Hawthorn have had the best record in second halves in the competition, so they really do run out games. And it's these players in particular, where Hawthorn are really on top today, David, Crawford, Bateman, Guerra, Ladson, these type of players, players that run and carry the ball and get over the lines to get it into their tall forwards. They're the key to the Hawks' running game.
And the great thing about that, there's one of the blokes who's leading it is Crawford. Crawford has run as far as anybody else on the ground today.
From the ball up. Franklin's now got 2. Then Port Adelaide have their worries. Cassisi. Wide. Pierce. Held up.
This is where they've been on top, Hawthorn. The 50-50 contest since quarter time.
Surgeon back to Pierce. Not a lot to go to inside 50. Heads toward the goal square. Gillum feeds back. Takes the mark and feeds it off to Campbell Brown.
I think it's time to put Treadrow on the ground now. Too often they're looking up and they see young Westhoff and Motlop. They just need that strong body.
Well, Pierce has been so good at it. When he got clear, then had a real good look and still kicked it directly to 2 Hawthorn players.
From the ball in, Taylor and Lade. Down to Hodge. Shrugs one tackle, not the second caught. Dispossessed. Lade slips out a handball, but to Ellis. All the way back. Kane Corns caught high. And he'll get the free 50 from goal.
With one win for Port today. Sammy Mitchell only had the 10 possessions. Corns lining up for his 3rd shot on goal. So he's already kicked the 2. Yeah, definitely too high there. The left arm over the left shoulder of Kane Corns. Just with your tackling, just have to go low with your hands. Have to bring your hands from your hips, not your shoulders.
With 2 goals last week, Kane Corns, and this a massive kick for Port Adelaide. They haven't kicked a goal for over a quarter. And he gets close to the man on the mark. Gives it some sky and misses the near side.
In getting matchups, we said before the game, getting someone who can beat Sam inside and also hurt him on the outside. Not many of them in the competition. This boy's done it brilliantly.
He's kicked 6 behinds in a row since quarter time, Port Adelaide. No goals. Campbell Brown to Bateman. He can play on if it sits. You have to wait for it a little. Boak sends him back to Crawford. And Crawford holds it up. Campbell Brown.
I'll release out the other way now, Hawthorn.
So Krogh will come to Birchall or Ellis. Ellis and Birchall. Now Lewis. Smith over the top. He goes longer. Franklin, rough head over the top, can't mark. Chaplin shrugs the tackle. Strength in the legs. Gives it off to Peter Burgoyne. Cassisi, Pettigrew. Straight down the corridor. He's got an option out wide. It's Brendan Lade. Sees him now, but he makes it tough for him. And the bouncing ball kept on the line by Lade.
Lade
Tries
probably
to
looked
Crawford. And beaten for it by Crawford.
Well, it was a little stiff there, Lade. He looked at Crawford, thought, gee, I better take this over the line, but it was too late.
Bateman inside 50 to Franklin. And Lance Franklin can line up for the pocket for his 3rd.
Well, let's give Crawford his due. He said he's worked hard, but that was smart in the way that he gathered Lade up and was able to force the ball in his direction and get clear to set up this one for Frank. Just terrific work.
Well, the key to it with Crawford, he corralled Lade.
Yeah.
He didn't attack him and allow Lade to get around. He just corralled him. Thought, you're not getting out of this gate, this area.
Lance Franklin was a late withdrawal before Hawthorn's loss to the Kangaroos here a couple of weeks ago. He might have been the difference. He kicks across the face, and it's been marked and fed off by Thurstons. Roden, Kane Corns, Thompson, Roden, all getting a possession down the wing. Back to Thompson, trouble, dispossessed, Sewell on the rebound. To Lewis, it'll come back, and it's against Taylor. It's a Port Adelaide ball to Thompson. Rowan Smith.
The difference between the two sides at the moment, Hawthorn have been able to get a runner as they're loose, and Port Adelaide have just got Dean Brogan, who is just a marker, and the Hawthorn players are setting up too much ball for them going forward.
Peter Burgoyne's ball stolen by Mitchell. Franklin calls for it long. He's got two to beat.
There's a free kick off the ball here, Dwayne.
To Port Adelaide again.
No, it's against Hall. That's two in a row, one from the big fella and one from Bateman, which is totally unnecessary. Having won the ball, got clear, stupidly undisciplined acts has cost them the ball. In this case, maybe a goal.
Wide to Salopek, short, Motlop, Smith's fist wins out. Salopek didn't want to go for goal.
Well, that's an area Port have to improve on to win this game. Too often are they kicking the ball to the forward, not to the area where he's going to lead into.
Taylor and Lade knocked down to Thompson. Can't fight his way through the traffic. Roden ridden.
And Dan, they've done that too much early in the game. Remember going into Ebert early in the game, the ball was hit too high. You know, just forwards need more than 50-50.
We just saw that free on the corner of the screen there. It was definitely there. Alistair Clark should be frustrated with that because the ball looked like it was going to land in Franklin's lap.
And the ball up. It's tied up. Hodge, like a bull, just trying to work his way through, and he gets the free for too high. Hawthorn fans rejoice. And 50 against Motlop.
That's interesting. I mean, that was on. Good decision making, but if you're either coach at the moment, you'd be very frustrated by that sort of stuff.
Hodge, sweeping kick, off hands, rough head, couldn't take it. Westhoff, handball to Wilson. Back hit
great contest.
Two hard nuts, Wilson and Campbell Brown. Now Motlop, strong hands, trying to make amends. Treadray peels back. Motlop wants to go to him, puts it in front, tough ball. Treadray blinded, but still marked it.
It's a great effort in the end.
Oh, terrific.
And it was the right option too, because Treadray just on the ground. He's got Joel Smith, so Trent Crode had to be aware that he had to pick Treadray up a little bit earlier than leaving on Joel Smith.
So now, I think that's a good matchup now. Even if Crode will think about coming across on Treadray, I wouldn't. I reckon Smith can do the running off and can get to him and contest it.
It's been over a quarter and a half now since Port Adelaide kicked their last goal. Warren Treadray hasn't kicked one so far today. To the goal square, off hands, and free kick too high on Taylor. Simon Taylor, a Tassie boy, home for his 25th birthday yesterday. Got to spend it with family from the Hutchins School down here, where he was a champion rower, and he drags it through for a behind.
Oh, I hate that. That's a smart thing to do. I hate to seeing that happen.
Did he handball that through?
Just handballed it over his head through for goal because he couldn't see any way out.
Well, it was a throw.
Well, he could have thrown it over his head.
Well, you have to handball it through, otherwise you don't get a stat. Right. If you just run it through,
but
you don't get that handball.
If he threw the ball through, it would be a free kick to Port.
It would, that's true. Did he throw it through then?
Well, I think there was a little fist on it, Dwayne.
Young, free against him. Kane Corns, Cassisi, Boak, and back to Kane Corns. They might have turned it over. He dives in, holds it in. Umpire might ping him. No, ball up. 59 plays 47. Second spot on the AFL ladder up for grabs. And at the moment, the Hawks have been able to stop Port Adelaide's flow. And the ball up, caught high, and a free kick to Peter Burgoyne.
That's their defensive work in the last couple of weeks against Brisbane and now against Port's been terrific.
Cassisi over the head of Brogan, forced to backtrack. Boyle comes at him. Bateman comes at him. Cassisi back to Sean Burgoyne, and now Pearce from 55. He loads up and long, and finally they realise where they are.
delighted to see Brogan in there. I thought he might have mucked up, a bit slow to pick it up, but Brogan in the middle of the ground rode 2 tackles, really good effort. He just bounced off them and a second, set up, and now this is the very goal, the very break I guess they wanted was Pearce with the ball running in. Put it away, it's given them a chance.
Well, he's kicked 17 disposals, but Boyle's effort to tackle, he tried to corral him, but he corralled the boundary line, not the corridor, had to stick with the hips.
Daniel Pearce's first goal of the afternoon breaks the run of 7 behinds in a row for Port Adelaide. 53 to 59, and it's game on. Finals atmosphere. And Taylor knocks it down to Mitchell. Sewell.
Super handsome, Mitchell.
With some space. Sends it long and wide. Dixon. Good mark.
Oh, he's good at that, Dwayne. He's good at that. Dixon really is a great body player. Not quick, not tall, but uses his body beautifully.
Will take his best kick. The wind's blowing
into
from
his
left,
face, is it?
Yeah, left to right on the screen, so it's going to take his very best.
He's kicked 17 goals this year, 1 so far this afternoon. He's 10th on the all-time Hawthorn goal kickers list. He's been a star, and the wind pushes that, as you said. It was a tough kick, a behind.
I think the good thing was the Mitchell hand pass that you called so well. It was just a brilliantly set up execution from middle.
It was an excellent handball, but just the play of Dixon there, I think maybe the best option there was to put it to the top of the square, because that wind really was going to take his very best kick.
Should know that, shouldn't he? Should know his own Billy.
Thurston's, Cassisi, Pettigrew, Thurston's, Kane Corns. They've worked it to the wing. Over the top, little handball from Salopek. Now Boak tried to tap it on. And now forced to go back in and try and steal it back.
It's game on now.
Peter Burgoyne, Cassisi. Now Pearce can run. He holds it up. Hawthorn getting numbers back again.
It's quite interesting because we had Campbell Brown on Lade there.
Thompson,
top of the square.
Kane Corns on 50, and he thinks he can get the distance. Although he tells Pearce to feed off.
You've just seen the top of the square. We've got Lade on Campbell Brown, the top of the square.
To Ebert from 55 to the goal square. Lade's down there, Westhoff down there. A few players blinded by the sun. Birchall. He's tied up by Motlop, and it's a stalemate. We'll get a ball up.
Why, Dan, can we see the designated kicker so easily up there and they can never work it out down there?
An important ball up. Crow thumps it down. Smith half ridden, no free. Campbell Brown out to Ellis, and they escape. Dixon. Sean Burgoyne's with him. Dixon's over it. Caught to the boundary. Wilson slaps it down to Thompson.
Clever.
Back in turn, Sean Burgoyne. Peter Burgoyne. There's a free kick.
Not playing the advantage.
Okay, it'll come back. And it will be Wilson's ball.
We're throwing the handballs around Port Adelaide. They've had 133 kicks, 130 handballs.
In fact, it's Peter Burgoyne who takes the free.
I think you're right on the free kick. It might have been paid down from the point of the free kick. I think you're right, Dwayne.
And he chips the pass. Pearce. Gee, some heavy spoiling work from Ladson, and he still held the mark.
If one player can get the distance, I'd prefer Daniel Pearce on the run. He said to the players, I'm going back. We're kicking at least 55 metres here.
And it got a bit of a breeze, I would think, almost directly behind him.
So from 52, low trajectory, hits the goal square, and Roughhead and Campbell has shared it. Campbell front spot to Young. Lance Franklin down at half back. Central kick. Robert Campbell, Ladson, good build up this. Lewis, Young. Franklin runs. Young sells the dummy to Brogan, who hunts him down inside 50. McGlynn's got 3 to beat, almost beats them all. And now ties it up. Salopek. McGlynn's the one who's got it though. So we'll get the ball up. Umpire Goldspink, one of the top umpires in the competition, says I'll have it.
Well, McGlynn nearly at first purchase on it.
He's just not playing with the confidence he was 6 weeks ago.
All slapped down. Sean Burgoyne beaten for a bite. McGlynn still over it. Still not free. Dixon in there. And they might have to sort it out with a bounce again. or rusher behind as Sean Burgoyne takes it through.
Shark kicking.
And by Goldspink says hold it up. Kane Corns. Peter Burgoyne. Franklin chases him. Forces the handball back to Kane Corns. Fumble. Carlisle. Back again. Peter Burgoyne. Around Young. Touch on the deck. A wobbler to the wing. Gladson had to wait. Robert Campbell. Lewis. Smith. Crawford. Inboard to Ellis. And now Birchall. Short. Dixon. Back to Ellis. Back inboard to Crawford. And now the long kick. Tough one for Boyle. 2 to beat. Ball thumped away, but he might crumb it. Thought about kicking it off the deck. And Carlisle dumps him over the boundary line. Ball in.
It's a great contest. It really is. I mean, there's so much hanging, Dwayne, as you said, on the result of this that you can't see anybody not giving it their absolute best.
And the ball in. Brogan slaps it down. Salopek.
Dangerous handball.
Yep, Sean Burgoyne. And Kane Corns rushes another behind. But one thing Hawthorn has been able to do, and that is stop the Port Adelaide scoring rate. They're the second highest scoring team in the AFL this year behind Geelong, Port Adelaide. And Hawthorn knew it coming in. Wilson. Thompson. Sean Burgoyne. 4.5 minutes from three-quarter time. Cassisi. We're into time on third term. Surgeon. Cassisi. Pettigrew.
Man the mark really well, Hawthorn. Not allowing any run after a mark.
Chad Corns can't take the mark. Got a hand on it. And a soft free kick against Franklin for a hand on the back.
Best team too at forcing not only manning the mark but forcing the opposition to play in the direction they probably wouldn't desire to do.
Also got the second best clean disposal rate in the competition this year, Port Adelaide, so it's all about putting pressure on their disposal, as happened there. All the way back to Wilson. Again, not a clean disposal. And Wilson to Thurstons. Hawthorn have won 10 from 15 here at Aurora Stadium, and Port Adelaide has won 4 from 5, so both teams coming in know this ground well. Pearce out of play on the full. Maybe he thinks it's a bit wider than it is. And it is one of the widest grounds in the AFL.
I think largest playing area in the AFL, Dwayne, certainly, and long and very, very wide.
Sewell on the wing. Towards Campbell, who had the reach. Dished up the handball, and now over it, and still over it. Crawford gone.
Lewis, I think it was.
Lewis
one.
it is.
And a terrible hand pass from Campbell put him under
really
pressure.
did put him under massive pressure there.
Not necessary, badly executed.
Roden. Cassisi.
On his own here, Pearce.
So runs to 55, Daniel Pearce. Heads long. Motlop's got the set. Big flying mark. Amazing mark by Motlop.
Oh.
How can that not be paid?
It was his feet. He pushed.
He pushed with his
with
foot.
his feet. That is a mark. What? Seriously, we need to have a look at that again when we get another stoppage, but I'm sure he pushed him out with his foot or knee.
He pushed him out with his foot.
Was there any hands there?
Oh, well, you'd argue this. We'll argue this to the end. Cows come home. The other bloke wasn't allowed to compete because he was shoved out before it came.
So you can use an elbow like that, you can use a knee like that, but you use your foot, it's not a mark. Short pass inside 50, and it might be a double whammy here for Port Adelaide because Dixon will line up.
That'll be debated by everybody during the week as to what's legitimate and what's not. Pushes are pushes
Here
are
we
push,
go.
in my opinion.
It's being debated by Matt Stevick and Motlop. Now that's a mark.
That's a mark every day of the week.
Yes, I think you're right.
Every day of the week. Every hour of the day. Every second of the day. That's our game there.
Yeah, no,
that
we
is
want that.
an AFL mark.
We want that. That's true.
Well, if the umpires are that confused about what is and isn't a mark, the game will die if they don't sort it out. Dixon kicks the goal.
Well, that
hurts.
In the context of the game, no, more than hurts, doesn't it, Dan? I mean,
Still
it might take the game totally away from Port Adelaide, who in the circumstances probably would have converted that chance. I know it's Motlop, but probably would have converted that chance, gone down there, and it's cost them 2.
Well, that is game over. that decision there, unless Port have a miraculous run, because Hawthorn's second half's are terrific. He kicks that, the scores are just about level. They're a point down, maybe. Ball goes down the other end, and now it's a 15-point spread.
Well, what does it go? 59 to 62. There would have been 3 points in it, Dan. You're quite right.
2 goals to Ben Dixon. 68 to 53. Port Adelaide on the ropes, approaching three-quarter time. From the ball up. They're inspired at the moment, the Hawks. Hodge, Crawford, Ladson. Franklin calls it long. He goes short. Wilson and Corns collide. Ball hits the deck. Carlisle comes through hard. Taylor's over it. It's on now. And umpire Matt Stevick, the controversial umpire Matt Stevick, will ball it up. Corns with the thumb. Peter Burgoyne. Surgeon about to pounce. Crawford will hunt him down. And he does brilliantly, Shane Crawford. Knocks it out to Mitchell, to Ellis, to Mitchell. The crowd rising as their Hawks are. Bateman. Ladson. Short to the 50. And Hodge is within range. Wants to pass off. Boyle.
Beautiful.
Can we could all do Crawford's efforts, the double defensive. We've known him for his attacking, positive, brilliant football, but that was just done on sheer guts, run and defensive work to get the turnover.
It's twice this quarter Shane Crawford's been able to do that, but the one area Port really need to work on is some strength in their key defensive posts.
Well, you nominate that at half-time, and we just can't find the current players on their list who can do that role.
Yet to kick one today, Tim Boyle. And can't bend it back. Another behind for the normally accurate Tim Boyle. Still a good story, though, isn't he? Drafted back in 2002. Broke his leg in 2004. A horrendous break. Almost a career-ending break. But he's back this year and having an outstanding year. 33 seconds and counting. Chaplin. Got Brogan. Sends it past Brogan in the Corns direction. Swirled down to Brogan, to Corns, to Salopek. Thought about going to Boat.
Great play, Taylor, there.
Just corralled him. Chad Corns runs the wing and runs too far. And Hawthorn just need to bang this long from the wing and get a mark.
Well, again, it was just the Hawthorn pressure.
No
they
options.
were terrific.
No options. He ran, but nothing was available to him. In the finish, he overran the carry.
Ladson just needs to thump it to the 50. And he doesn't. It's to Ellis. And it's three-quarter time here at Aurora Stadium in Launceston under beautiful blue skies. Perfect conditions for football. The biggest game this arena has ever hosted. Second versus third on the AFL ladder. And as it stands right now, the Hawks look like they're the best team beyond Geelong in the competition. 10-9-69 plays 7-11-53.
Right, 2 more and I get to sleep on the Lilo. In your dreams.
Catch it, Harry! Catch it!
How's it? She's out! He's out! I'm not.
Yeah, too!
I knew this was going to happen. Not out. Oh, I love you.
Jeez, the holiday romance.
Let's hope they don't puncture the Lilo.
Powered by Intel Core 2 Duo processor. Dolby Surround Sound. Introducing the new Aspire Gemstone Design.
Hi, Dad. Here's your dinner.
Thanks, love. I'll see you tomorrow.
LG's kitchen range makes everything easy, so anyone can use it. LG. Life's good.
Would you rather be working on your superannuation plans or focusing on your next shot? Would you rather be thinking about your financial security or keeping your family secure? Aviva allows you to focus on your future without losing track of what's important now. For details, see your financial advisor or visit our website.
New Mazda Australian Rugby Championship. New rules. New attitude. New pace. Come and see the Wallabies of tomorrow this weekend. Plus, kids go free with an adult.
Football is defined by many memorable performances.
The penalty. Great tackle.
Acts of incredible determination and resolve.
Griffin on Barton that wins the football.
This year, players who demonstrate outstanding courage, initiative and teamwork will be recognised by the 2007 AFL Army Award. Vote for the player you think went beyond the call at afl.com.au. The Army. Challenge yourself.
Good boy, Marlon.
Going, Jacko.
PJ, your bowl, mate.
It's Macca's go.
I think it's drinks.
Harry, it's a dog.
Monday on Fox Sports, the Australian Boomers are out to take the New Zealand Tall Blacks down to size. It's the Olympic qualifying Oceania Championships, and after last year's shock defeat, the Boomers need to win for a spot in Beijing.
A nice inside pass.
It's Trans-Tasman rivalry at its best. Can the young new-look Boomers bounce back against the experienced Tall Blacks?
Anstey, little pig.
Find out in the 2007 Oceania Championships, Monday on Fox Sports 2.
Three-quarter time here in Launceston, and the Hawks are on track to take back second spot on the AFL ladder. They'll jump ahead of the West Coast Eagles, who are there right now. 10-9-69, Port Adelaide not out of it. 7-11-53. What did you make of that third turn, gentlemen?
I thought Hawthorn's run and carry, you'd see Guerra. Crawford's quarter was absolutely sensational. Crawford, Bateman, Guerra, Ladson, just the run and the carry and the ball use, and to be able to get it in there, and their defence is right on top. On the other end of it, the Port Adelaide defenders, there's no big body there. With Franklin, Boyle and Roughhead, they really do struggle when the ball gets in there quickly, David.
Dan, there's no doubt that when the game was finally got to be played on Hawthorn's terms, and it has for the last two quarters, they are the best in the business at doing this, and you're quite right. Get in off enough. They haven't got the strong defenders to be able to deal with it. You'd expect them, because they're so good in last quarters, to run away with this game.
Port desperately need Westhoff, who started really well, but Steve Gillam's done a fantastic job. Treadray coming back after injury started well also, but Mark Williams desperately need those two players in particular we see on the screen to come into the game.
On Treadray having a chat to Mark Williams. 16-point margin. Port Adelaide needs to overcome. The Hawks looking solid at the moment. By 16 points to start this final term. Their last two games of the season, Hawthorn, the Western Bulldogs next week at the Telstra Dome, and then Sydney at the Sydney Cricket Ground, whereas Port Adelaide's last two, Geelong at Skilled Stadium and Fremantle at Amy. Rowan Smith.
Well, Matty, you're looking to get back into the contest. How can you do that?
We'll just try to put as many dangerous guys in our forward line as possible, and hopefully win the stoppages.
So you're going to go tall in this last quarter?
We're going to go a little bit tall, but pretty quick and exciting, and hopefully we get a few goals and get back in the game.
Okay, well, good luck for the last quarter.
Thanks, Ryan.
And, guys, just an injury update on Tim Boyle. He just got crunched there just at the end of the third quarter. He just was carrying his right shoulder, so we'll just keep an eye on him in the last quarter.
Matty's right in saying Port have loaded up their forward line. He's got Sean Burgoyne, Treadray, Daniel Pearce, Motlop, Ebert and Westhoff. So if Port can win the ball out of the middle, at least some dangerous players up there to reap the benefits.
And the delivery's got to be right. Unlike the first quarter when they were going that direction, too many kicks were sprayed, too high, too wide, so they'll need to be accurate going in.
Umpire Goldspink entrusted with the bounce to start this final term here in Launceston. It's been a perfect afternoon for football. And from the ball up, the perfect ball up, Lewis caught by Roden, 360, and that's holding the ball.
Gee.
Strange.
Oh, well, strange.
Roden, Chad Corns played on. Everybody looked at each other and back to Roden.
Well, one thing Port need to do, it's okay going laterally, but they're nearly 3 goals behind. They need to take the game on, run and carry through the middle of the ground.
That didn't help them, Dwayne. You're right. The confusion there just meant that every Hawthorn bloke could get behind the ball.
Pettigrew. And now Warren Treadray, who hasn't had a big afternoon at the office. Possession number 6 coming up, and no goals this afternoon. The captain, who led the team to their flag in the absence of Matty Primus, who we heard from at 3/4 time. Pearce towards Ebert, and he takes the chest mark. And this is a tough pocket to kick goals from with this breeze, but it's within his repertoire. He is a very, very good kick at goal.
That's my argument about disposal. Treadray's kick to Pearce was excellent to draw him for the ball, and Pearce's kick to Ebert on the lead was perfect. Just what didn't happen early in the game.
So Brett Ebert, who's kicked 46 goals, 21 for the year, brings it back and scrapes it in for a behind, only just.
Nearly impossible to kick a goal from that pocket today.
And you reckon both the players, Dixon for Hawthorn and Ebert for them, Dan should have placed it in front of the square.
I think they want to read their name in the goal scorer's book, David, tomorrow morning.
We don't understand those forwards, selfish people they are.
They're 2 of the best kicks in the competition, though. Ebert and Dixon cut them some slack. Gillum,
well, Dwayne, I'll give you 10 kicks from that pocket. I reckon you'd be lucky to kick 1.
Campbell Brown, Crow, caught, got a handball away, and Crawford kicks it out of bounds on the full. And 50. For some reason, Port Adelaide will get a kick from the line.
Well, that's amazing.
And Sean Burgoyne, from the line, will be told to go back and go behind your mark.
Why wasn't he allowed to kick that?
Don't question umpire Goldspink.
Yeah, he had to set the mark, certainly.
Sean Burgoyne does the formalities, and Port get the opener for the final term.
And what we haven't explained is why all that happened. And I'd love to be able to explain it, but I can't. Somebody's obviously gobbed off to the umpire. Yeah, it was a throw. I can see the throw.
You're absolutely spot on, David. I think we all thought it was Crawford's kick, but it's the tackle here from Port. And it was illegal.
The free kick, and Crawford's slopping it off the ground. It's cost the...
It's a 9-point ball game, 10-9 to 8-12.
Whatever the free kick was, Alistair Clarkson wouldn't be too happy with it anyway.
No, it wasn't.
From the restart.
Beautiful tap.
Campbell left with a little deft deflection to Hodge, but he left it behind and will get another ball up.
Hodge was the one who suffered the penalty before. He's letting the umpire know that's exactly what happened to me in reverse. Give me the ball.
Well, we've got one-on-ones all around the ground, so at least we're going to see some really good contested footy here.
Lade thrown out of the contest. Port Adelaide's free.
Oh, Campbell's mouth now.
No, this is not good enough.
This will bring Lade within range.
You're absolutely spot on, Dwayne. Not only in range, the free kick's been given. I've never seen an umpire in the history of the game reverse a decision after they paid it. Unfortunately, you have to play team football and bite your lip.
Oh, that's totally unacceptable. But, in the context of the game, they need a bit of luck, Port Adelaide, and if this gets them back in, we're going to get the contest that you and I want to see.
In defence of Robert Campbell, I'm not sure his abuse was levelled at the umpire. Seemed to yell something out, but it wasn't in the umpire's direction. Important kick, laid goals. It's cut back to a 3-point margin.
Well, I mean, a terrific effort, because I think you and I thought that the game had got well beyond them, and yeah, I mean, the free kick was there. I think the original one, no doubt about
Definitely
that.
there.
And I think he's not. I think your call, Dwayne, was exactly right, that he was just abusing himself for giving away the free kick, and the umpire's taken that language to be directed at him. That is grossly unfair, I think, if that's how we've read it.
So Robert Campbell appeared a little unlucky.
I know he wasn't looking at the umpire, David, but we cannot lip read down here, up here.
From the ball up, Lade slips it to Corns, all the way back to Cassisi. 69-66. Pearce. And he holds it up on the wing. Hawthorn getting numbers back. Wide ball in the Westhoff direction. Good mark taken against Treadray. No 50 to Crode.
It was a magnificent mark from Crode. Treadray double, triple led, and Crode thought, we can lead out wide, but I'm going to stand in the corridor.
And wait for it to come to me, and it did.
And it was excellent play.
Sends it wide to the wing. Taylor and Corns down there. One hand at it. Corns. Taylor steals it. Caught. Got a handball up. Sewell, Birchall and Ladson over the top. Crawford's there. He's ignored. Franklin from behind. Pettigrew, Wilson, ball in.
I think Taylor was claiming in that last one he punched the ball and then grabbed the ball afterwards. He thought he had the double handle. It should have been called a mark.
It was excellent play, the second effort from Taylor also, David, because he just a deft hit out the back to his Hawthorn teammate.
Laid palm on it again, but read by Roughhead to Boyle. Stolen back by Chad Corns. Rolls it towards Pearce on the wing. Gathers. Thurstons. Kane Corns. Cassisi over the top. Boak's there as well, and it's downfield to Boak. So Travis Boak to send Port Adelaide inside 50.
And a lack of discipline here right through the team at the moment is hurting Hawthorn very, very badly.
I think what's happening is Kane Corns is tagging Mitchell. And look, the Hawthorn players are trying to do the right thing by trying to release Mitchell, but they're giving away too many free kicks on Kane Corns.
Westhoff flies, and so too does Taylor. Strong hands. Guerra. Dangerous kick. Modlop was there. He might get on the end of the Peterberg on handball. He doesn't. Stolen by Crawford. Stolen back by Roden, who knocks it to his own advantage. Sewell. Lewis. Campbell-Brown. Guerra. And now Bateman from half-back. Takes them on. Modlop dragged him down. Pressure on the handball. Pettigrew. Surgeon. Roden. Surgeon again. Wide to the pocket. The impossible pocket to Westhoff.
That's final football at its absolute best there, Dave. That last passage of play from both teams was just excellent play.
Absolute. And then they got a good finish. They being Port Adelaide just finished it well. Westhoff's in a very difficult position.
Well, here's this dead pocket again, David.
Well, he's a 20-year-old kid. He wouldn't worry about what's a dead pocket and what's not. You just go for it. And he kicks it out of bounds on the full. You've got to back yourself in.
I know you've got to back yourself in, Wayne, but at some stage you have to play the percentages to work out. It's nearly impossible to kick from that pocket today the way the wind is blowing.
With 3 points the margin, 15 minutes left, Danny, would you have a shot?
Well, I reckon there's more chance to put it on top of the square and get a contest.
Guerra to Taylor. You might be right, because the Hawks are about to rebound. Bateman tied up.
Excellent tackle.
Dispossessed, but Hawthorn still with it. Boyle out wide to Young.
Franklin one-on-one.
And he's in behind. Back position. Couldn't go at it. And Wilson beats him to it, although dragged down by Crawford. Tries to slap it out. Roughhead. He tries to get it out. And Wilson caught a little high. And will get the free in the back pocket.
Well, again, what a great contest. We saw Hodge and Taylor, both teammates going hard at the ball. They're both still on the ground. They've hurt themselves by just being unconditional at the contest. They're positive signs here for the Hawks. Even Roughhead's hurt as well.
And that was only sheer desperation and physicality going for the ball.
Wilson, the chaplain. Not a lot to go to. Kane Corns. Travis Boak. And now Wilson again, although Bateman hunts him down. Gives to Peter Burgoyne. Takes on Lewis. Brogan. Boak. Dragged down. Got rid of
throw.
it. And called a throw. No, the umpire said play on. Brogan picks it up and runs on. Chad Corns. Loops it over the top. Sean Burgoyne knocked out of it. And gets the free.
Well, what we need here, Dave, is a little bit of composure.
From one team.
Over the top to Pearce. 60 from goal. Hawthorn getting numbers back. 3 points the margin. He sends it inside 50. Ebert there and he holds it. And he will go back and have the shot to give Port Adelaide the lead.
Well, key to that mark there was a magnificent mark from Ebert. Just jumped early. We just see Boak here in the tackle. Did he throw the ball? Let's have a look. Oh, may have got a fingernail on it, but that was a magnificent mark here from Ebert. The key to it, he just protected the area where the ball was going to land.
He's got 46 for the season, but none today. And he's missed a behind.
And boys, just quickly, Luke Hodges just limped from the ground, so it looks like he got a corky in that tackle just before as well.
That's not going to help them.
There's that pocket again, Vine.
Yeah. You and I still heading out there after the game. How many are you giving me again? 15,
I'm going to give you 10 kicks to kick 1 goal from that spot.
Okay, looking forward to that.
I think you'll do your hammy after your third.
Boak to Pearce. Here's that pocket again. Sets it up, kicks it long, and another behind from the dead pocket.
Someone needs to tell Port to try and attack from this side here, David. There we just saw that injury there from Luke Hodge. Didn't seem a lot in it, but obviously
it's a 1-point ball game. Second spot on the ladder up for grabs. McGlynn. Brogan chases him down, pushes him on the kick. Franklin, little push, back of the pack. Rush through for a behind. No, into the post, and it could be deliberate.
It's got to be deliberate. Is it deliberate, Dwayne, or not?
Well, if he's trying to rush it through for a behind, but it hits the post, they normally pay deliberate.
With a handball, they would.
From the ball in, Taylor,
no,
Young, he'll kick it regardless.
Now, can I just say, it was a beautiful setup and push, but that shows you how tired the players are, because it would normally not be allowed.
99 times out of 100 they will pay deliberate because his intentions were to put it through for a point. He wasn't able to do it. But have a look at Young. No one on Clinton Young here.
Well, it just didn't get there.
Talk about lack of concentration. Had to be goal side. Just defending. Finger in the back on Clinton Young.
Sorry, Dan. Very tired they were. Very tired.
He's picked a handy time to kick his first, Clinton Young. Finals-like atmosphere here in Launceston. The crowd's rising and the game's rising from the ball up. Hawthorn breaking free with a Mitchell kick to half forward. Bouncing ball coming hard. Franklin to his own advantage and to Young. Takes them on.
Oh, cool.
Left foot kick inside 50. Dixon's getting back. He's got it.
He's the master of it. Dixon to get behind his direct opponent, and it was just a magnificent kick from Young.
2 efforts. So Franklin coming out, made up his mind he was going to get there first and take anything that was coming. I've not seen the physicality in his play like that before. Forced the ball through to Clinton Young. Clinton Young, as cool as a cucumber, stepped round, kicked the ball to the fat side, and Dixon, who's just brilliant at setting up for that, took the mark.
For his third. That's what he has ahead of him. And he slips a dagger to the heart. Into the post. It's a goal.
Super opportunities, Dixon. Another 3 goals. Boyles had a quiet game, but step up. Dixon, Roughhead, Franklin has kicked 2 goals. And again, we just see here just a magnificent effort, David. You called it. Just the attack on the ball from Franklin was super. And again, Young, who kicked the last goal, that was a magnificent kick to a dangerous spot. That's where the forward wants it, to the space away from the defender. Magnificent kick, mark and goal.
81 plays 68. The Hawks can smell victory now. Lade and Robert Campbell. Perfect bounce and a perfect palm down Lade. Peter Burgoyne inside 50. Westhoff down there. Off hands. Ladson. Caught by Westhoff. Dives in. Treadray. Slips it to Pearce. Slips it to Surgeon. Slips it towards Corns in the goal square. And they're not done with yet.
Beautiful mark from Kane Corns. 31 disposals. 2 goals won. This will be 3 goals won on the best midfielder in the comp in Mitchell.
Well, it's got to be an All-Australian chance again, surely, Kane Corns. Another spectacular afternoon, and he keeps his team in it.
Wonderful effort by Kane. Not only to run hard and get there, he was under Mitchell, made up his mind. He gave him everything he could in defence of that mark, hung on to it beautifully, and has now given them a chance again.
Well, Dwayne, if your point with All-Australian is on Mitchell if he's already in, and Kane Corns has had 31 disposals, 3 goals, he's just about a shoe-in. What a great game from Kane Corns.
It's back to a 7-point margin.
Positive is, Dwayne, that Luke Hodge just back on the ground, so great signs for Hawthorn and Hodge.
Lade again. Thumps to half forward. Pearce left it behind. Crow tried to slip a kick out. McGlynn mops it up. Mitchell. Sewell. Bateman. Ellis. Sewell. Bateman. Crawford. Franklin out wide. Missed, as to his Boyle. And Pettigrew might get done for deliberate. He does.
What about
by Goldspink on the spot?
What about that run and link up then, Dan? At this stage of the
Centering
game.
kick towards McGlynn. Sorry, David. Wilson shovels it toward the boundary line. Peter Burgoyne left it behind. McGlynn dives in. Wilson's still in there. And it's dragged out of play. We'll get a ball in.
I'm just saying, at this stage of the game, very few teams can produce 8 blokes who could find 20 or 30 metres in their run to get on the end through the centre at this time of the day. Terrific effort to set this opportunity up. 7 points the margin. Second spot on the ladder up for grabs. Lade. He gave it to Boyle. Peter Burgoyne. Dixon. Knocked it to Young. Caught by Cassisi. Dragged down. And we'll get a ball up with 9 minutes left on the clock. Oh, it's been a great game, mate. It has been a great game. If you came here to watch it or watched it on television, you've got your money's worth today.
Lade again. Thumps it out, but in the Franklin direction. Goes for the one-handed pick-up. Peter Burgoyne stole it from him. Ebert, Boak comes back inboard. Stolen back by McGlynn. Campbell, Smith. Wobbles it inside 50. Modlock gets back. Thumps it down to Corns. Missed the target with the handball. Cassisi, Chaplin, Cassisi, Pearce.
They're on here, Dwayne.
Wilson peels to the open side. He calls for it long.
They're covered well.
Salopek's on the inside and they tie up Surgeon and Salopek.
Great contest there from Mitchell and Surgeon.
Dived in. Sewell, Ladson, Ellis. Thumps it inside 50 and Chaplin gets back and takes the mark. 8 minutes left.
One of the tall forwards from Hawthorn there just had to make a contest.
7 points the margin. Kane Corns slips it around the body towards Pearce. Chip over the top. Sean Burgoyne comes hard. Does well. So too does Gillam. It's held there. Sewell. He holds it there with a bit of help. Umpire Goldspink will sort this out with the ball up.
That was a magnificent contest again from Gillan and
He
Burgoyne.
left his man, didn't he?
Well, it was great play from both players because Burgoyne, the sense that Gillan was coming at him, then he just turned his body.
Protected it well.
It was really good play.
It's like the last day in September. From the ball up. Both these teams putting everything on the line and a push. Free kick to Port Adelaide.
They're in with a chance, Dwayne here. In with a chance. Got a couple of options free.
Salopek to Kane Corns. Thurstons to the open side to Ebert. He'll need to motor. Does.
Well, this is the best side to attack from this end, Dwayne.
Too far out to score. Treadray, pocket, got it. Inches from the turf, and this is the pocket. We can have 15 from here at the end of the game too, if you like, Danny.
No, I'm more confident from this side, right?
And he hasn't done much for those. Like the coach just says, son, that just an opportunity might come at some time. Just keep at it, and your turn will come. Well, Treadray's turn has now come.
Super kick from me, but...
Well, he's the captain. He's the spiritual leader. He knows the importance of this kick. With 6.5 left on the clock. Centering ball, big pack flies. And Latson thinks about taking it back. Campbell Brown.
He's got a lot to go to. They've got running out with hands here.
Guerra to Mitchell. A wobbler to the wing. Out of play will be a win for Hawthorn. It's a win for Hawthorn. Yeah, free for the Liberals.
Umpire Goldsmith was looking back. He got no direction from the other umpire. Gee, I thought it was tough. What other option did Sam Mitchell have?
None.
Gee.
You're absolutely spot on, Dave. If you haven't got an option, and that's your only option, surely that has to be a ball up.
Well, that could be a game turner. Salopek. The crowd still in sun silence here. I can't believe that was paid. Kane Corns to Pearce. And Hawthorn fans will be ropeable if he kicks it from here. Centering kick to Lade.
Well, that's better because you've no chance of kicking the ball from that pocket. But young Ellis will learn from that. Had to take some body in that mark.
Went in there. Just ran past the mark and allowed the bloke easy access.
He's already got one in this final term, Brendan Lade. So he knows where they are. From 53. It bends. It's short. And Campbell Brown marks it.
Well, luckily so.
Despite the fact of Taylor trying to knock the ball and his head off, he took a terrific mark.
But his thought was there, Taylor. At least he tried to play defensive football.
And Campbell Brown was good enough to get past both of them.
Well, he's had an outstanding year, Campbell Brown, playing on some of the best in the business. He's had a tough week, and that'll make him feel a whole lot better. Young.
Well, even has not worried the goal scorer's book. No, Dwayne, so that's a fantastic effort.
Gillum back to Campbell Brown, and he can eat some seconds off the clock. It was an important mark because with 7 points to margin, you don't even want to concede a behind at this stage of the game.
Well, Port just have to be disciplined here and man up every free Hawthorn player. They'll continue to just kick the ball laterally behind, as we see here to Campbell Brown. Port have to man up to force Campbell Brown now to kick to a contest.
And they've done it pretty quickly, better than most sides I've seen this weekend. That's good play, Port Adelaide.
They're on the edge of their seats here. Campbell Brown towards Taylor. He dives in and on Sean Burgoyne. Umpire Goldsmith on the spot again.
He hasn't got a lot to go to. I don't think he'll get the trip.
He loads up. It's long. It's laid, and it's stumped through.
That wouldn't have been Hodge, would it? Running against the pack and getting a fist in.
Well, again, with that breeze, you're better off kicking the ball about 20 metres out from goal with some height and then cause a spillage. You kick the ball just on the goal line, it makes it so easy for the Hawthorn defenders just to rush the ball through for a behind.
It's a one-goal ball game, and draws are in vogue this year. Latson to himself. Chips it. Campbell Brown can hold it up. 4 minutes and counting.
Birchall's on out this side.
And he heads in the Birchall direction. And the local boy, Grant Birchall. Family here. Younger sister Grace in the crowd. Oh. And he misses the target with the kick. But it's okay.
Taylor off the ground. Campbell straight on into the ruck. So fresh ruckman here on Brendan Lade.
Good change.
Inside 4 minutes. Free kick in the ruck contest, and it's Hawthorn's way against Lade, and he'll come off.
He's a bit
Brogan
stiff.
On.
It'll be Brogan's last 3.5 minutes.
He's a bit stiff then.
Campbell.
Got Hodge in a one-on-one down the line.
Pumped long, and Hodge gets there.
Well, he's the player you need to go to. He's the game breaker for Hawthorn. He'll have a cool head. He'll just assess the situation here.
He saved it at the other end 2 minutes ago.
Beautiful kick.
Pops it up for Dixon. And Lewis back of the pack. Lewis lurking and marked it.
Well, Lewis, great grab, but take a bow, Luke Hodge. That kick from that side of the ground to the fat side to either the leading forward was just absolutely sensational. We see here the one-on-one contest on Salopek. He'll learn from that, need to get stronger in the body. But have a look at Hodge assessing the situation, just kicking the ball to space. And a great run from Jordan Lewis.
Could have wasted a little bit more time. And he kicks it behind, which makes it 7 points. Would have liked a goal. Every Hawthorn fan on the planet would have liked a goal, but it's now a 2-score lead.
That's it, Dwayne. Worth a goal, Dwayne.
Thurston stumps it long. Brogan fresh on, flies, can't mark it. Hodge, the general.
Super.
Sewell. Lewis. McGlynn. He marks this, it's over. He can't get there. Pettigrew thumps it down. And it's out of play. It's been a grand contest between these two heavyweight premiership contenders. Luke Hodge, just about as good as it gets in the competition, providing when it's most required. Kane Corns, Pierce, one last roll of the dice for Port Adelaide. Smith grabs the dice.
Well, ice the clock down. They just need to be cool here.
And he sends it wide to Crawford. And if you want it in anyone's hands, it'll be Shane Crawford. He'll be professional about this. Seconds ticking by. Hugs the boundary. Out of play, a win for Hawthorn. Brogan gets there. Didn't hold it. Kane Corns. Peter Burgoyne. Chaplin. No one to go to.
Both sides
Sean
are out
Burgoyne.
on his feet now.
Pettigrew. Straight down the middle with a bounce. Gets a Shepherd. Wilson sets him up. Crawford wanted him, but he didn't wrap him up. Wilson. Handball to Pierce. Ebert feeding back to the goal square. Slipped over the top of the handball back to Wilson, who was the one doing the hard hitting. Heads long. Motlop. Unbelievable. Deja vu, perhaps. Motlop to keep them in it.
That's the kick I've been looking for, David, for about a quarter and a half, just to the top of the square to give the forwards an opportunity to run onto the ball.
Well, it's not for the win this afternoon, as it was here against St Kilda. But he cuts it back to 1 point with 48 seconds on the clock.
That's, I mean, you're quite right, Dan, but it took and it was a calculated kick, just held up a bit. He came hard forward, Motlop, and took a very, what was a difficult mark in the circumstance. I'm feeling sorry for them, not sorry for him, but apprehensive for him in the sense that he had to put this one away. The last time he was asked to do that, it just didn't happen. So he's lived through that.
Well, the Hawthorn runner out. We see Roughhead running behind the ball. All the Hawthorn players going behind the ball.
If you're watching this from the kitchen, put down all sharp objects. 47 seconds left. It's a 1 point ball game. It comes down to this clearance perhaps, and it's Taylor v Brogan. Brogan slaps it down. Birchall, Peter Burgoyne, hands over the top. Chaplin from 50, long. It's very long to the goal line, and the mark to Ebert. He can either win the game or level the scores. And he has not kicked a goal this afternoon. He's kicked 2 behinds. Seven seconds left for the victory. It's there.
Well, amazing sequence. That's right, amazing sequence. But you called it would depend on this last bounce. A sensational hit that was wide. Finally got it to the quickest little bloke on the field who can really use it. And Pierce set up what was a sensational mark. Ebert's effort in that pack of players against blokes who are 4 times bigger. Fantastic.
Couldn't believe the Hawthorn boys there. I'm not sure whether they went to spoil or mark in that situation.
Well, it was every player's dream to do that as a kid. Ebert has just done it. 87 plays 82. A come from the clouds victory for Port Adelaide. Dean Brogan with the tap that won the final clearance that led to Ebert's first goal of the afternoon, and they come from everywhere to celebrate. Brent Guerra, ex-Port Adelaide player Brent Guerra on his hands and knees. Wilson, his toughness. Hodge, what a warrior he was. It was a classic day for footy. It had everything at the start of this game you would want. Second versus third for second spot on the ladder. It lived up to all expectations. Port Adelaide with the last kick of the afternoon in a thriller. And they don't come any more, Port Adelaide, than Brett Ebert. And he's downstairs with Rowan Smith.
Well, Brett, mate, well, did you dream of that light as a kid?
I haven't. You know, we were lucky in the end. It was very close. We missed a lot of shots, and you know, it's good to finish off with a win.
It was a tight game all day, but it come right down to the wire.
Yeah, it did. You know, we were getting pretty frustrated in the forward line, but you know, last quarter it come down a bit, and the midfield worked really hard, and we worked well out defence as well, so it's good.
It was a bit of a shootout in the first quarter, but then it sort of tightened up. As you said, you were getting just a little bit I'm trying to look for the right words, but you're getting a bit frustrated there in the last quarter because they had so many numbers back.
Yeah, it worked out a bit like basketball, just going around up and down the ground. But you know, obviously it was great to come all over the win, and you know, we're looking forward to a couple more games and hopefully some finals.
And what was going through your mind as you were having that shot?
I was a little bit nervous. Mott's missed one last year, so we looked at that against St Kilda, and I suppose just keep the same technique and kick through it.
Well, congratulations. Soak it all up. Enjoy the win.
Beautiful, thanks.
Deja vu in Launceston, and Port Adelaide this time nailed the shot, and Campbell Brown, whose game was outstanding until the last seconds.
Unbelievable, Dwayne. Just been watching Campbell Brown for the last 2 minutes. He's been on his own on the boundary line in disgust, but I don't think he should lower his head. He feels like he's let his teammates down. He's been absolutely super today in what's been a huge week. It's great to see the players get round him there at the end.
And he was, there's no doubt, suffering the consequences of probably the two. I think when we review that last kick in, I think the two Hawthorn blokes were a bit intent, thinking they're in good position to actually take a mark. It should have been spoiled. There were 2 versus 1. Could have been, should have been spoiled through, but doesn't take it away from me. But it's a great mark from a smaller type player, and they deserved to finish their victory, having had a couple more shots, 5, I think, more than Hawthorn did.
Well, it's an amazing game of football. It might be your day, but it might be your moment. And that was Brett Ebert's moment. That was just, you're always in the game of football. Campbell Brown was all over him all day, and then the last contest, he jumps up to kick the winning goal.
Everybody's stunned here in Launceston. An amazing result. Port Adelaide 12-15-87 to Hawthorn 12-10-82.